Greetings, the Hijabi Gamer here, and first off, my apologies for not responding to any comments in the previous video. I was busy watching The Last Jedi. Oh joy. Anyway, in case, I watched it on my phone. You can see you can see the white bar on the bottom, it kind of is near the end. It says watch from the beginning. Yeah. I watched it on my phone, so I don't have to torture myself that much. Now, this is going to be a bit rambly. I do have a bunch of notes. I don't hate it, but that's only because I got very lucky. See, if I had been someone like everyone else who saw it, wasn't it like a 2-year gap between it and The Force Awakens? So you're waiting to see this movie, you're excited. I don't remember the trailers, but I don't think they would have showed Luke Skywalker or any of this as poorly as they did. So if I'd been someone who was looking forward to this for 2 years, and then I got to see this garbage, yeah, I would have been pissed. Especially if I had to pay full price. I paid like $3.99 to rent it, which to me still seems like a bit too much. I don't hate it, but I'm more disappointed by it. What I mean is, it feels... This is Star Wars. This isn't just any property. This is one of the biggest properties. It makes a huge amount of money. You spend billions of dollars on this. You should have put a good amount of time and effort into writing a good script. I'm still amazed. I'm hearing stories that they had no plan for the trilogy. How the hell do you start a trilogy without planning the entire thing out? People who write fan fiction have better planning than they did. You had an unlimited budget. You could have worked on it, come out with a good script, taken your time. Instead, you got this. To me, this feels cheap and very, very hollow. It's almost like, oh, we're going to make a Star Wars movie. Well, you know what we need in Star Wars? We need a rebellion, and we need stormtroopers. That's it. How are we going to include those two? No, you don't. It feels like a cheap, hollow attempt to copy the original trilogy. On top of that, the circumstances. So, one of the biggest obstacles to me actually being able to take the movie seriously is, the concept of suspension of disbelief. I could not suspend my disbelief. The foundation of the movie is poor. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. So it's almost like I'm watching other characters. Why the hell is the rebellion at 400 people? Where did the First Order come from? I got the impression at the end of the Return of the Jedi, that there was hope. What would have made more sense is a movie along the lines of the Republic is in charge, and they're dealing with the remnants of the Empire. But for the Empire to be back fully in power, but, oh no, we're not going to call it the Empire, we're just going to call it the First Order. It feels pointless and hollow and so unbelievable. You know what would make more sense? If an army of cats was attacking the galaxy. Because at the very least, you can be like, oh, well, that's a foreign power coming from another galaxy, like the Tyranids. An army of cats attacking in Star Wars would have made more sense than the garbage I just saw on screen. So, watching it when the very foundation is so weak and unbelievable, it's hard for me to believe it's Star Wars. So it's hard for me to get angry because I feel like I'm watching fan fiction. Just someone made fan fiction. On top of that, what? You can't recreate the original trilogy. It was like, I don't know. The whole basis ruined it for me. So, it was also very sad to watch. So now, like I said, I made a whole bunch of notes, so this is going to be a bit rambly. And I actually made them in order as I'm watching it, so some of them might get later contradicted. But one of the saddest things for me was watching Leia without Han. Like I said, The Force Awakens, what really disappointed me was what they did with Han. Which is why the whole premise doesn't fit. You have these characters that aren't behaving like these characters. Do I believe Han Solo would have abandoned Leia, even if their son turned to the dark side? No. No, I don't. It doesn't fit him. It is so ridiculously out of the blue. It would be the equivalent of me ripping this thing off and standing here butt naked. It doesn't fit. So, watching Leia without Han just really saddened me. She looked so sad. It didn't look like an empowered woman. It just looked sad. On top of that, why isn't she playing a bigger role? I mean, okay, fine. You don't want Han Solo. You killed him off. Fine. But why isn't she playing a bigger role? Why do we have this Holdo woman, which I'll get into her in a moment? Why is Leia... You have Leia. You have a person people wanted to see on screen, and you put her in a coma for half the movie? I wanted to see more Leia. I didn't want to see Holdo, who, by the way, Holdo isn't a strong woman. Please forgive my language, but there's only one word to describe Holdo. Holdo is a bitch. It's the only word I could use to describe her. She is someone who, to be honest, I don't feel like she rose through the ranks by hard work. She feels more like someone who, has the power. And how does she feel powerful? By belittling everyone around her. Someone who actually has power and respect doesn't need to belittle the people around them. They help raise them up. They turn to them. What she should have done isn't go, oh yeah, Flyboy, get the hell out of here. She should have turned to Poe Dameron and say, what do you suggest? Don't get me started on the stupid phone call scene. That was just dumb. But she should have been like, what do you suggest? Here clearly is an asset. Someone who cares about the rebellion, who's intelligent, who's a leader, whom people respect. I liked Poe Dameron. Yeah, he kept constantly getting kicked down, but at least he took the circumstances he was in and tried to improve on them. He tried to use his head and, fix this, work with what he had. I respect Poe Dameron. I don't respect Holdo. She should have, like I said, she should have turned to him and said, what do you suggest? This is what we're planning. Because you know what? Oh, I was also let me just add, I was very disappointed. Finn was not a Jedi. I saw the end of The Force Awakens. I was looking forward to him being a Jedi. And what the hell was it with that scene with him wearing the stupid water, naked? That was just stupid. I understand you have a very limited amount of time in a movie. What was the point of that? That was just stupid. What, you wanted to belittle him too? You just didn't have Holdo around to yell at him? The plan, okay, first off, the whole plan, now, this was before I found out that the ridiculous Canto Bight plan was utterly pointless in the first place. But the whole plan was ridiculously, pointlessly convoluted. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But weren't the ships basically under fire the entire time? Couldn't they have come up with a better solution? I'm sorry, but you're sending people to go to a different planet to get someone who can hack, so they can hack into the enemy ship. It's like, but the whole time your fleet is under fire. It was so ridiculously convoluted and pointless. I mean, I get it. Poe was dealing with really bad circumstances. Maybe if Admiral Holdo had actually turned to him and treated him as with respect instead of ignoring him, or maybe even told him the plan, because that was the worst part of the whole thing. It got to the point where it's like, wait a minute, the whole Canto Bight was utterly pointless. So I watched this ridiculous, expensive movie that had absolutely no point. That if you had taken 5 minutes to explain your plan to him, it would never have happened. I didn't like the Canto Bight plan from the beginning. And to find out it was utterly pointless. Yeah, good one. And then there's Kylo Ren. Now, I don't know if people like him. I'm not sure if I've heard a lot about him online. Mostly I've heard about the whole Reylo nonsense, which, don't get me started on that stupid romance. The whole romantic underpinnings to the whole thing was just stupid. It felt like fanfic. Oh, we're going to have the dark Jedi and the light Jedi. We're going to have the Sith and the Jedi falling in love with each other. No. Like I said, it feels like cheap fanfic. But Kylo Ren himself, look, I don't mean to criticize the actor, but Kylo Ren comes across as a petulant child. This is someone who's, what, second in command of a fleet? But he comes across as a little brat. I'm sorry. He sounds like he's like a kid with a gun. Nobody respects him, but they're scared of him. And he just goes around acting like a spoiled brat. How he survived as long as he did, I'm impressed. I'm amazed he hasn't done any previous really stupid mistakes that have gotten him killed. That he has all of his limbs intact. He's a petulant child. Didn't he leave with a whole bunch of other kids? Didn't they, like, a whole bunch of kids leave Luke Skywalker's school? You're telling me Snoke couldn't find a better candidate than this brat? I'm sorry, I don't like him. Every time he was on screen, I could not take him seriously. And, I mean, I want to say if I were any one of the other guys, you know, the people in the military under him, I would have, like, had him locked up. But I know he's a Sith. So they couldn't. But man, is he a petulant, spoiled brat. And then Luke. Luke. Has he taken a shower anytime recently? Just saying. He looks like a greasy, old drunk. I'm sorry. But he looks like he hasn't taken a shower in several years. And probably smells disgusting. This is Luke Skywalker. Putting aside the fact that I don't think he would be on that island in the first place, let's put on, he just looks like he hasn't taken care of himself. Now, what is it with them having the two main male characters from the original trilogy just abandoning Leia? Look, even if Luke, now, I don't like the idea of him being a failed teacher. This is Luke Skywalker. Okay, fine, he had a failure. He still would have picked himself up again. But, okay, fine, you know what? Luke Skywalker doesn't want to teach other Jedi. Okay. He still would not have abandoned Leia. He would not be hiding on some island to die. He would have never left his sister. And you know what? Even if he had tried, I bet you Leia would have stopped him. I would have done, you know, if one of my brothers did what he did, would have smacked him on the back of the head with a lightsaber. So even if he didn't want to teach, he would not have abandoned Leia. Seriously, Han Solo abandons, it runs off, Luke Skywalker runs off. I'm just, no. And then the Canto Bight thing, because at the time I didn't realize the whole thing was utterly pointless. But let's just add insult to injury. Who the hell put someone in prison because of a single parking violation? You literally are shooting at them with stun guns, and then you put them in prison. So even if the whole Canto Bight thing wasn't pointless, the whole escape from prison thing, getting locked up, was also completely pointless. They would have gotten to the right guy they needed instead of, I don't even know what's his name, but the one that betrayed them. Totally doesn't make sense. On top of that, why did they, you know, when they're fleeing and they're riding the horse, at some point they're like, we can't get away or something? But there are no ships, so why did they let the horse go? Why didn't they just keep riding? It was clear they were having difficulty tracking them on the horse. But that shouldn't have happened in the first place, because they shouldn't have been fleeing from the prison in the first place. So, oh God, what was the point? Why did you have the Canto Bight thing? The whole thing was so pointless and convoluted. And then, okay, and then the whole thing with Luke supposedly trying to kill Ben Solo. The look in his eyes at that moment was not Luke Skywalker. You're talking about the man who faced Darth Vader Everyone, everyone told him there was no hope with Darth Vader. He did not listen. You're telling me on the whisper or the hint that Ben Solo might turn to the dark side, he would try to kill him? Seriously. The man who would not kill Darth Vader, a mass murderer, but he would turn to his nephew and kill him? Really? I can't accept it. It doesn't fit the character. That's why the whole thing doesn't feel like Star Wars, because it's like I'm watching a movie with some totally different characters. Yeah, if you ignore everything else Star Wars you've ever seen, you might enjoy it. But if you're taking into account these characters that you've known, that have been established, it's not them. It's like, what did what's his name, Mark Hamill say? Jake Skywalker? It was Jake Skywalker, Lucy Organa Solo. Because why didn't they call her, oh, that's one of the things that first pissed me off. Why did they call her Leia Organa? I thought her name was Leia Organa Solo. But it was like Lucy Organa Solo and, Hank Solo. Totally different people in a totally different universe. This isn't Star Wars. And then the whole romance thing, like I said, it feels like cheap fanfic. It's like when they pair, Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter. Totally non-canon, doesn't make sense, but oh my god, the bad guy and the good guy are getting together. I hate romance anyway, so in this case, my opinion is biased. I know, it's crazy. Everyone thinks all women like those stupid romantic comedies and those romantic movies. No, I like action and adventure. And then, oh, I forgot about this. She beats Luke Skywalker? WTF? What the hell? Whoa. Back up. Someone who, has held a lightsaber, and she beats Luke Skywalker. Are you kidding me? No. 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 Just no. And then what the hell is it with the Yoda? Alright, look. Putting aside, okay, first off, there's something wrong with his appearance. I don't know, in the original movies, and even in the prequels, yeah, he's a green puppet, but there's still a weight to him. You can actually see him as a Jedi. There's something off, first off, about his whole appearance. He doesn't look like Yoda. He looks like some funky Muppet. Like like an imp. Even his behavior isn't Yoda 100%, but the way he chuckles or giggles like I don't know what. It doesn't look like Yoda. That's not Yoda. It feels off. You know, like when you look at something and it's just slightly out of focus, it doesn't look like Yoda. Yoda, you look at Yoda and you can take him, even when he's saying the weirdest stuff, you can take him seriously. This, you can't. There's something off about his appearance. On top of that, she learned everything she needs to know to be a Jedi in 2 lessons. She was on the island, 3 days? She knows everything in those books. How? Did she, touch them and mentally absorb all the information? Didn't Luke... How long did he spend on Dagobah? I mean, he took time to train. But then she somehow beat Luke Skywalker in... No. And that's why I'm afraid to see what happens in The Rise of Skywalker. Because if she's this ridiculous in this... No. And then, like I said, at some point I came to the realization that the entire Canto Bight was utterly and totally pointless. So I watched all that, only to find out no reason at all. So they didn't need to go to Canto Bight at all. None of it mattered. There was no point to the plan anyway. Oh joy. Alright, next. The fight scene. The one between, what's her name? Rey, Ben, and the dudes in red. Which I know they have some name, but I don't care. I really don't care. There's just something, again, out of focus and off about it. It doesn't feel like a fight scene. Now, don't get me wrong. The whip thing that grabbed onto the end of the lightsaber, that was cool. That was actually really cool. Just the device itself. Not the dude holding it, the actual device. But the fight, it didn't feel like a fight. Now I get it, fighting is like dance, but this didn't feel like, you're still trying to make it feel like a fight. This felt like something on a Broadway show. Definitely did not feel like a fight. Just completely off. Did not like it. I didn't feel like their lives were in danger at any point. It just felt, like I said, like I was watching a Broadway show. I still don't like Kylo Ren. And at some point I actually commented, you can't really see it, but it says, it would not end. Just, I would keep, every now and then I would hit my phone, see how much was left, and it would be like 1 hour, an hour and a half. I'm like, what? Didn't I already watch 2 hours? And, you know, I thought once he became Supreme Leader, maybe Kylo Ren would stop acting like a petulant child. No, he never, no. He was like a kid. No, I don't like him. I don't want to see The Rise of Skywalker because I know he's in it. If he didn't have force powers, I would have thrown a lightsaber at his head and sent him to his room. I don't. The only thing I actually liked in this entire movie was when Finn kicked Phasma's butt. And it wasn't even the entire fight. I just liked that moment, you know, not when he fell, because I would have rather him have kicked his butt without falling like that, but watching him fight Phasma for those few seconds was awesome. Because that's how I wanted Finn to be from the beginning. That was just awesome. I could go on and on about that pointless. First off, how the hell did you not know there was another exit? Just how the hell? I mean, it's not like it was hidden. But no one in all their time on that base. I mean, the whole thing just. Why didn't Holdo tell him the plan when they went down there? And then, what's her name? Rose Tico. But like I said, the whole movie is really hard for me to take seriously because the foundation is so poor. But then Luke isn't even there. Like I said from the beginning, I never would have believed that Luke would have left Leia. He should have been there from the beginning. So the fact that he's somewhat force can you even do that? What was it with the whole thing with the water and she shoots her laser and what, he feels it? What's with the whole communication? But the whole thing with Luke at the end, I can't even hate it because I'm already angry that he wasn't there from the beginning. So the fact that he wasn't there at the end, well, I'm still kind of angry that he wasn't there at the beginning. Luke would never have left Leia. I don't care what reasons they're giving. Oh, he had one failed student? Really? No. So this whole thing about him being off. So when I see him now at the end and he dies this stupid death, this pointless death, instead of, you know, being Luke Skywalker, seeing him die this way, well, these don't feel like Star Wars characters because the whole thing doesn't feel. You've taken these established characters and just completely changed them. So I can't even. It's not Star Wars. You know, it's different if they actually behaved in character, but they behaved in like ways I didn't like. But these are, like I said, these are totally different characters. It's Hunk Solo and Lucy Organa Solo and Jake Solo. Not Jake Solo, sorry. Jake Skywalker. These are not, the foundation is so poor. The characters are so off that I'm not even going to accept it as a Star Wars movie. So all I'm going to say is instead, I haven't read EU books in a very long time because I stopped reading them back when Disney bought Star Wars. So I can barely remember the ones I read. I know I definitely read something with the sun. I know I read some of the Thrawn books, but it was so long ago that when you say the name Thrawn, I recognize it. I know I read The Courtship of Princess Leia. So put book suggestions down below for the EU, because I'm going to get back into that, because this is just not Star Wars. And I am deeply disappointed that you have something so rich in history, something that you started with a massive fan base, and you managed to alienate the majority of them. How the hell do you do that? I mean, that's impressive. And you clearly are trying to spite the fans. These are the people who will pay you money. And you are treating them this badly? And you don't even... It doesn't feel like you gave time to this movie. It doesn't feel like you put any effort to make a good trilogy. So, I'm disappointed. I guess in actuality, I am pretty angry. I don't like it. So I guess I'm a white supremacist misogynist. Alt-right. Which, let me add this. How the hell do you judge someone based on the media they consume? There's a lot of stuff out there I don't like that would horrify people. I don't like Breath of the Wild. What does that say about me? There's probably a ton of guys out there who enjoy watching porn, and yet once they step outside, they treat women with respect. So how can you judge Ryan from RK Outpost because he doesn't like The Last Jedi? Do you know him? I can't judge him. I've watched a lot of his videos, but I barely know him. He seems like a good guy, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he doesn't like The Last Jedi doesn't mean he's a bad person. He just doesn't like a movie. And to say that he's a misogynist, or anyone who doesn't like The Last Jedi is a misogynist, how many other movies have women in them that they like? How can you judge someone based on what movies, video games, TV shows they like or dislike? I love Destiny 2. I love Destiny 2 more than Star Wars. But what does it say about me, huh? Am I anti-alien from another planet? Am I a machine worshipping? I don't know. So, it seems kind of petty and just short, I don't know, to judge someone because they don't like one movie. Jeremy from Geek, what? Jeremy doesn't like it either. What? I don't understand that. You're judging someone because they don't like a movie. That doesn't tell you anything. Let me add, you know what? One last thing. You remember that leader of Germany from World War II whose name apparently I'm not supposed to say on YouTube? You want to know what his favorite movie was? Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I watched a lot of documentaries about World War II. He would actually cry at sad scenes. What does that say? You maybe shouldn't judge a person by the media they enjoy. Because the guy who was crying over sad scenes also caused the deaths of millions. Think about it. Anyway, I did it. I survived it. So I get to keep the cat. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, give me some book suggestions. And thank you for watching. Please like, this was not fun. And sorry about the ramble nature of the whole thing, but I am not re-recording this again.